Hey, welcome on, everyone. Here we are again with Unapologetically You interviews. And today I have a really cool human. His name's Patrick Council, and he has been around my life for probably a year at this point. Well, maybe even more than that. So he's gone through the whole trilogy. He's a freaking blast. He's an engineer and has the humor and dance skills that I love. And I wanted you all to meet him because he's a fantastic human. So, Patrick, say hello.
Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm
That's
Patrick
his
Council.
excited face.
I am
Jazz
excited.
hands. Okay. Um,
Do you want it?
you're doing it just fine. Talk to us. Tell me a little bit about you, like bullet points, husband, kids, that kind of thing.
Well, I was born and raised in Colorado. I grew up just north of Denver and Westminster, and
Oh.
in high school, I got myself arrested drawing Mr. Peanut on a wall, which kind of really derailed my journey to become an
You're
engineer.
just going right into the
Yeah,
like, by
and
the way, she said I was sweet, but I have been arrested.
yeah, I've been arrested. I've gotten in trouble. I
Okay,
joined the
so now we
military.
gotta stop right there because everyone wants to know what the heck you're talking about. How do you get arrested for drawing Mr. Peanut?
Well, my girlfriend at the time decided that she wasn't going to let me leave this pedestrian tunnel without drawing something on the wall because, it was like a naughty thing to do. It's like, oh, you,
Yes,
you should be
very
doing this.
naughty.
And we had this like running inside joke of the planner's peanut. You got the peanut, top hat, cane,
Yeah.
glasses. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we had this saying. So I'm sitting there drawing Mr. Peanut. And, I was just finishing it, right? Mr. Peanut was here. Just as I was finishing a cop on a bicycle rides through, sees me, jumps off, and like, you're under arrest. I'm like, what the heck?
For gratuity.
Yeah, and I just
That's
turned
hilarious.
18. It's like, oh, you just turned 18. You're an adult. You're going to jail, buddy.
No way.
so,
Happy frickin' birthday, Mr. Peanut.
so I'm like,
Jeez,
this
that's
isn't good.
that could have been a game changer.
Yeah,
Like, every mom is going, "Okay, great. Your kid is so good, and they're going down this trajectory, and then they're in jail." Awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. My, kid's dad went to jail for rollerblading downtown Denver, and
Really?
with his not only did he get, like, billy clubbed in the back of the legs to stop him, he had to go and spend the night right before a mission trip. Like, we were heading out the next morning, and I was dating him. Should have been my red flag, but, you know, whatever. That is awesome. I'm glad that you didn't just keep going down that road, Patrick.
Well, apparently I was a big criminal because I went to court. The jury was laughing at me. The judge was laughing at me. The prosecutor's like, he's been doing this forever. You need to put him in jail for, I don't know what, 3 months or something. And I'm like, I'm a high school student. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. I'm in band. I don't have a job. I don't have a car. What the heck? And I went and cleaned it off too. I even went and cleaned it and I took pictures and it's like, okay, I corrected my mistake. I'm so sorry.
That's
Please
awesome.
forgive me. But they're like, we got to make an example out of you. So here,
Well, of course.
15 days of house arrest, 1 year probation,
Oh
$400
my
fine,
gosh.
and 40 hours of community service.
That's
And
ridiculous.
no one will hire me.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh. It's,
uh,
like, legit on your record?
yeah, it was like legit on my record at that time. And I'm like, well, how am I going to be an engineer now? I can't get these certain jobs. I started up community college afterwards, and I'm like, man, my family isn't going to be able to afford to pay for my education, and I know this, and they know that, and I'm going to be limited in what I can do. So I'm like, what can I do? What can I do to redeem myself? So I joined the military. I joined the military to pay for my education, and I needed a
Yeah.
waiver to get in the military because of Mr. Peanut. I had to get
That
a
is
waiver to get into the military.
insane.
And I could do anything. I had my test scores were off the chart. I can do anything in the military.
Yes.
And they're like, "You're a perfect candidate, but you need a waiver, and we're not going to give you a bonus." But I'm like, "But I want to be an engineer, and it's expensive, and this is the only way I know that I can do it right now." At the time, that's the only way I knew. So I got in, and I joined the military for a few years, get full benefits, get honorably discharged, and started right up in back into my engineering track, and got my electrical engineering degree at Colorado School of Mines with
Oh,
honors.
wow.
And it blew everyone's expectations because they're like, "You're not going to amount to anything."
That
Blah
is
blah.
ridiculous. For
Uh,
one, oh my gosh, this is
yeah,
hurting my brain.
I had an ankle brace at every all my classes.
That's right.
My last semester in high school.
Patrick's like the sweetest guy ever, okay? Everyone who's listening that doesn't know him, and everyone who does know him is laughing their butts off because he's just a fantastic human. Team player all the way, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Um,
yeah.
that's insane. I mean, I've definitely been around, men with pasts and I've seen how it follows them. Um,
Mhm,
like you legit can't get a job when you've come out of jail. It does
mm,
follow you, and it's so maddening because it kinda just keeps you in the cycle of the death cycle, of just, "Oh, I'm just a complete loser apparently," and us making choices at 18, 19, and getting stuck with that.
mhm,
We all are stuck with some kinda judgment on us, and trying to rewrite that, theory of ourselves.
mhm.
Which is kinda goes right into personal development. So that's who you were before personal development. Just a horrific human being.
I'm terrible, I tell you what.
It's so funny because I have a lot of, graffiti artist friends that, like, do it for a living, which is just so odd to, like, even talk about your drawing like that. So, um talk to me about what happened when you went through personal development, how you got there, and what the heck you were expecting as an engineer.
Well, I went into engineering, and, I came into a government job. It's really hard to get the job that I have right now. I graduated with honors, but I was a non-traditional student. I kind of
Mhm,
felt like kind of a bit of an imposter. Imposter syndrome is something that a lot of us have issues with,
mhm.
until you get over it, right?
Yeah,
I decided that I needed to do something a little bit different because I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do, in terms of innovation. So I kind of got involved, starting my own business, and I actually had my first exposure to Todd Campbell, who facilitates these classes and a call. And I had an opportunity to ask, "Hey, what do you think about imposter syndrome? This is something that I feel is an issue."
oh,
And
cool.
and he kind of gave me a little bit of a pep talk about, it's just a bunch of BS. You don't even have to worry about this. I'm like, just one small, like, I don't know, 5 minutes of him talking to me about it, and like,
Yeah,
I want to get more involved. I want to. What is this insight thing? Because I feel that he's going to ask the right questions, and I'm going to come up with the right answers. So that's actually what kind of initiated my interest, and I just kind of jumped on it because I'm like, I'm done with this.
yeah,
I want to escape this because this is going to hold me back. If I want to
sure,
do well, if I want to bring better stuff into the world, if I want to progress in my career and have an amazing business and turn it into a true level of innovation, as a like innovation company, if I want that, I need to get over this stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna go. I didn't know what to expect, but I knew it was the right choice. And that kind of opened a door for me to actually really just get over all the crap. Like everyone
Yeah.
told me I was a POS, not worth anything. Here I am. Uh, it's funny because when you meet me, you're like, "How can people say this?" But man, people are mean.
They are.
Yeah.
I've had just awful things
Mhm.
messaged to me and just accounts of like from complete strangers. I have a pretty good personality. I was like, "What?
You're like,
You're going to hell." Um,
"What this?"
um, I can remember when I first met you. You've changed so drastically. I mean, to the point where you're like on the dance floor as an engineer, just rocking it out, not giving a rat's ass. And it's such
Mhm.
a beautiful sight, like truly. I mean, I feel a part of that. I feel really happy about it. It's like my protege. So, thank you for showing up, and the fact that you came at it from a such a humble stance, because a lot of times my stepdad was brilliant, and he passed away several years ago. Um, but like Einstein brilliant, and he was humble as well, and he died with some big solutions, and I know it's in the same family of stuff that you're interested in, so I've always like just kind of been intrigued by what you're doing because of my stepdad, not because I have the brain to understand any of it. But definitely, do you want to talk about like your dream, or is it like under wraps? I know it has to do with water.
Well, so in middle school, I really wanted to like be someone that can help spearhead solutions and bring stuff into the world that makes our lives easier and makes
Yeah.
people, experience the abundance that's around us rather than continually being trapped in a state of scarcity. So, one of the things I really wanted to work on, it just kind of came out of college. I came up with an idea of like, well, how do we bring the abundance of water into the world?
Right.
There's water everywhere. The oceans, they're huge, and we have technology to bring, um, you know, convert saline water into fresh water. That exists. It's existed for a long time,
Mhm.
but it's still a little bit expensive, and our aquifers are dropping. Crops are getting more expensive to irrigate, and we're dealing with droughts, and it's just like we just need to take advantage of the resources around us and not just say there's no way to do it to make it
Right.
economical. So I'm like, well, what if there's an economical solution that doesn't necessarily require as much energy to bring fresh water onto land so we can use it for irrigation and drinking water? So one of the things I wanted to do was get enough funds and develop a company that can help support the development and deployment of such system that would be economical, that can potentially shape the future for you know California and different parts of the world where they have a coastline but they just don't have access to fresh water or they're running out of it.
Right.
And it's interesting because I work for the Bureau of Reclamation. We manage water and power. So I'm directly involved with this in a different way, but it's really
Mhm.
cool to see like this is a very real problem. We have
Mhm.
droughts that impact our ability to not just deliver water to farmers, but to generate electricity. And you can't just rely on one method to uh, convert saline water into fresh water. And that's one of my visions is to be able to spearhead the effort, even if it's not my technology that I invented, at least be involved in it and pull the
Yeah.
right people around me so we can actually make it happen rather than just give into it's never going to be a
This is
possibility.
how it is. This is how yeah.
And keep the hope and the dream alive because I know we can do it. there's plenty of it out there.
Yeah. That's so interesting because I mean, every single one of these interviews has been about getting healed, dealing with forgiveness, going through all the work so that you can be the best you that there is. Like, you bring your A game in this specific niche, and it's like, it's so cool. I just love hearing everyone's stories and their dreams, and we can support the crap out of each other because we have a kickin' community that's holding us fully capable and accountable. And we are ripple affecting changing the world one person at a time. So
Mhm.
I love that. Talk to me about after you so you've gone through the trilogy, you've come back and staffed because you're close to Insight because you're in Denver, and that's why I know you and your awesome wife. Thank you for lending us her the last event. We
Mhm.
had a blast. Um, talk to me about some of the tools that you've learned along the way and which ones you utilize, like, on a daily or weekly basis.
Oh, man. So, I spend a lot of time listening in conversations and instead of just holding on to my ideas, I actually voice them.
Okay.
So, I've really, starting with, in the beginning, listening and being there with people, and also, not being absent and actually participating in communication and in relationships. One thing I also do is every night I check my bags and all my work of the day in my mind, and I'm like, you know what? I can wait to do this till tomorrow. This is the kind of stuff I want to think about subconsciously that I
Yeah.
would like to solve, and I do that every night. And it helps me go to sleep because before I learned those tools from Insight, I was I always struggled to go to sleep. But
Oh,
now it's just like I do that, and every single night for over a year, I just gotten better sleep.
nice.
And then the second event really kind of free me from all what labels and definitions people gave me throughout my childhood, all the bullies, all the negative experiences with children, and also being in the military. I was
Mhm.
surrounded by the the darkest of bullies and criminals. Unfortunately, being in the army, that's how it kind of felt. I was
Yeah.
surrounded by really terrible people, but I had to keep myself in the environment that this is the direction I'm going. People told me, "You're crazy. You think you're going to do that?" And of course I'm going
Oh,
to do that.
man.
And being deployed to Iraq, and that kind of helped me get over a lot of the PTSD and just recontextualizing negative experiences, and just reminding myself, look, I can't let that hold me back, and just saying it's it's nothing personal. I've recontextualized those experiences. I'll let that stuff go, and always remembering my triggers that I gained from the experiences, and looking back at what I brought back with me, and
Like
just
the
remembering
positive triggers?
the positive triggers,
Okay.
and just remembering like just tell myself small phrases that helps me remember I'm beyond that. It's a memory, but it's not something that controls me anymore.
Right. Like you taking complete control over your brain and what's
Hmm.
going on in it. Yeah, emotionally too.
Hmm.
That's awesome. I love that. Um, every single person that shared has a completely different one to share, and that's what I love too. Because there's hundreds. Talk to me about the community and what the community has personally done for you.
The community is amazing. It's almost like a family you can go back to anytime. Maybe you haven't talked to them for a while, or you just hook up back into a conversation, and it's almost like you never that distance, that time didn't really change anything. It's literally like another family,
Yeah.
and you're on the same page, and you don't let little things like um, malform your relationship with your community, which is really cool.
Mhm.
Like it's like on both ends, you know that, oh, you accidentally did something that may have upset normal people, but it's not going to like turn into a big issue with your community. It's like everyone is understanding, we're all growing, and we're not afraid to tell you, hey, clean up your act.
But
Hey,
we believe the best.
yeah.
Best in yeah, and not automatically assuming that you did something wrong or whatever.
Hmm. That's the
That's
nice thing, is knowing that no one's going to sit there and make like bizarre assumptions and stories about you. You just
well, I might, but but they're funny, so.
hmm.
Um, that's awesome. I love hearing that.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
and I did, like, my business partner is someone that came out of this community.
mhm,
So that's been a big, big, big deal, because anyone else, I don't know, like going through all the work we have, it's like I don't have to worry.
mhm,
There's so much value in not worrying and having anxiety.
mhm,
I think that's the best thing, is I'm so calm and just like there's no need to put that energy there. Just
mhm.
focus on what you're going to do next and
Yeah, you
focus
can
on the next
hold each
phase.
other at a way higher standard and
Hmm.
keep a really short record of wrongs, and I mean, it's like you went through business counseling before you picked someone to hang out, you know? I mean, some businesses are like a marriage. You're with them more than your spouse even sometimes, or companies or 9 to 5 jobs too.
Hmm.
That's awesome to hear, and one of the, reasons when I first talked to Todd about taking on the photography, um, I said, "Hey, I have a business I run on Facebook, like, I need to be able to, like, do and say whatever I wanna say, like, my Facebook page is mine,"
Hmm.
because I used to get so much feedback because I was representing the company. "You need to take that post down." And it's like, no." Like, but yet I've been a business owner too, so I get it.
Hmm.
So I'm super careful about what I post always. I mean, if I posted 90% of the stuff I think I shouldn't post, it would be different, but I take a lot of moments and think, "Okay, you know, is this
Hmm.
good? Does this bring smile? Does this bring anything positive?" Then, yeah, I'm gonna move forward. But the other thing that was heavy, like, heavy on the other company I was with was there's no, which is a completely scarcity thought. It's I can't think of the word. It's not collaborations, but there's no business dealings between each other. What's that word? Starts with a C.
Oh man.
Like, you cannot do business. Like, if you saw my gut health product, you could not call me and do business with me.
Yeah, I'm kind of hung up on that definition too, but I know what you're talking about.
So, what it created is, like, this craziness of everyone feeling out of integrity. Because
Hmm.
someone asked, "Well, of course I wanna get on your gut stuff, I feel like crap." "Okay, well, I can't sell it to you." Or there was just a constant pull of like, "No, I can't work with you. I signed this thing." And it was so controlling from the top, and, it's so funny that I can't think of the word because I hated the word so much for, like, 7 years straight because I didn't
Hmm.
believe in it at all. And that's a prime example of, like, when you are around something and you just cannot change your thought process on it, and you're the cancer of the group because you can't change your attitude about it or you can't support, um, the people that are over you even. That's a time to say, "Okay, I'm out of integrity with myself." Um, so I either need to have a conversation or go ahead and remove myself because 'cause I'm becoming a negative part of this business. And I absolutely was toward the end because I just could not believe how many people were feeling like total failures because they were out of integrity with this one statement that was highly held over our heads. And the crazy thing about it was I was a photographer selling stuff to every single client. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, what? So the thing I love about when I talk to Todd, he's like, I don't care. They're all self-employed entrepreneurs. Like we're all going to be working with each other. We're all going to be supporting the crap out of each other. And I was just like, this is like that's what I needed to hear. That was my one question to him. That was so important to hear his answer on because I can't stop 3 streams of income because someone feels threatened by my greatness, you know? So my greatness is up to me. Like I need to not blame someone else for my lack of greatness or my greatness. So I just I agree with that statement and I'm glad you shared that because I've always wanted to say that to anyone. I just haven't had the reason to, I guess.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I actually learned like a very interesting perspective on it is like if you start feeling resentment toward an organization, a business, your employer, or someone else, there might be a chance that you're becoming too dependent on them,
Yeah,
or there's like some weird
there's
relationship,
fear. There's some
and
fear involved.
you you can't if you can't shake it, you got to change something up.
Mhm.
And it's nice to have that freedom and don't feel like you can't have a normal like evolving business relationship or just a relationship in general. We're all on the same team,
Yeah.
so that's really cool that we don't have to worry about that.
It is. And I mean there's always a pendulum swing with every single thing. Like you can see how business wise that could be. I saw the reason for it. Like you don't want to be in the seminar room and someone's trying to sell you coffee or whatever. Like you are not there for that purpose. Or you're sharing really deeply and someone's like, "By the way, here's my business card, call me." You know,
Yeah,
it's that kind of stuff that there's always a fine line and a pendulum swing. But I've been there a year in October or a year in September, and I've never seen that stuff come up. It's been so awesome for me to watch. So talk to me about we just went off on a total rabbit trail, but it's fine because that's a subject that I'm so thankful for. Um, so your wife went through 2 of them.
hmm
Talk to me about how that has changed your marriage.
it,
Because you guys are pretty cute. I think you're pretty cute before going through Insight, but how has it changed your marriage or your how you work together?
well, I'll definitely reassure we are cuter than ever. Uh, absolutely, we're freaking adorable. But man, it's nice to be on the same page and kind of see
Yeah.
that that fire kind of ignite and that certainty and you know feeling that even though she doesn't have the best relationship with her mother, she can come out of it and rebound really fast rather than it completely end her day. It might just be like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and
Yeah.
she's good, and it's just nice to see that huge rebound. And it's great because then I feel it's like we can enjoy uh,
It doesn't
each
take her
other.
out for a
Yeah,
long, long time and you have to be like,
yeah, and it's
is
really
her mom
cool.
gonna be watching this video?
No.
Okay. Um, yeah, I love that. And she's an extraordinary mind too. She's a creative and she's extraordinary musician. And I'm like, how many instruments do you know, dude? Like, she's just brought out, oh, today I'm gonna play the guitar and the violin and the piano and everything else. So, I always am in have endearing thoughts towards artists in general because I'm a weirdo artist or whatever you want to call us. I think it's a
Creative.
great compliment to be
Mhm.
called weird, honestly. I do not want to be normal. There's nothing about me that wants to be normal. So it's all in how you reframe something for sure. Well, talk to me about what do you think? What would you say to someone that's like on the fence? Like, why should they take themselves on? Especially a man. Why should a man take himself on?
Um, it's almost like you have no idea what you can possibly get out of it, and the the amount that you're kind of just sacrificing, like by saying you're not going to go, you're going to sacrifice opportunity to learn something completely new about yourself, to release yourself from something that's been bugging you for a long time.
Mhm.
Heck, you may be doing stuff, you may be behaving in certain ways because of something that happened, and that can completely change and that can completely redirect your life. I feel that it can completely skyrocket your relationships with people around you, make you more confident, make you more certain and happy, because you control being happy. And by realizing that you actually have more control, actually helps a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a safe place. You don't have to worry about, oh, well, I don't want to cry in front of anyone. It's like, look, I'm going to tell you, I don't feel bad about it. I cried. And
Love it.
and I just feel that if you need a safe place, everyone's going to support you.
Yeah.
And it's nice to know that you can go somewhere and be welcomed and have another family, especially when it feels like as you go along further away from high school, you gain less and less friends, and things get harder because it's just harder to communicate with other people. Everyone's really
Yeah.
distant. But then you go to this, and now that changes. It's like, well, why did it have to be that way? It didn't have to be that way, and you can have this amazing community and develop new relationships. And I feel that the opportunities just from that alone can completely like get you from feeling like you're permanently stuck in a horrible job to being like, look, it doesn't have to be that way. I can be the one that transforms that workplace from where it is
Yeah.
to something that's new, and then move on from there and just leave a legacy behind you as you move forward. Not burning bridges, but just like letting people see the light. And I think there's a lot of, from like an ego perspective, it's really cool just to be like, look, I can really impact people by just being myself.
Mhm.
And it's really
Yeah.
cool.
You're only you're on this earth to talk to 1 or 5 million people. You don't know. You have no clue. But if you're
Hmm.
not your best self, then hopefully you haven't damaged a bunch of those people because you have never taken the time to do the work.
Hmm. And
And
if,
to have a legacy and die with
hmm.
knowing that you put it all out there instead of wasted your gifts and talents, great. This is my lighting. Um,
Got
it's
dark on
so
me.
this is my drab look. My battery is done. But, yeah, just so thankful to I mean, just such a mad respect personally
Hmm.
for every single person that takes the opportunity to do this. So, I love you. I love you both, and thank you so much for your friendship over the years and so many laughs and letting me harass you.
Absolutely. And
Thanks
it's
for
not going
your
to stop. I'm going to.
I will never stop. Um, definitely, if you heard anything that you think someone should hear this recording, please tag them and comment and share away, especially if someone has information for Patrick and what he would like to do or like is working on in the water realm. Otherwise, sign up for my emails. I have been in personal development for a very long time and I love writing. So I'm so excited about this avenue of sharing what I've learned in the long time I've been in personal development. So, and I'm constantly learning and I love sharing. So, have a great day, evening, whenever you're watching this, and talk to you guys soon. Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks.